Hey, what's up? Just want to do a quick little video here for the Truth and Reconciliation Day. Uh, it's another government holiday. I don't know. It's in my I don't want to say this, but I have to say this is the internet standard. As an indigenous person, that's so stupid. We're all human beings, right? We all come from a gnashing of teeth, and we all come from evolution in general, and it's just weird how the government's leaning into this like bipartisan weird like it's like back in the day everybody was encouraged to work together to hold together the basic foundations of society, and now everyone's being encouraged to branch off into their own thing, and it's kind of like it's weakening the entire structure of society as a whole. Almost it seems. Anyway, this to say, I have to make this quick because I have to go to work today. I'm a registered Indigenous Canadian. I'm Ojibwe. I res on Manitoulin Island with Wemacong. I try to research into all the reses across Canada, as well as Inuit people and Nunavut and stuff, and so it's very difficult to do this because there are so many different communities and so many different tribes as well, and they all function differently. They all have they all have different beliefs and stories and history. So it's, of course, that's going to be almost impossible to preserve. But there are some reserves. My reserves, particularly, is I believe, one of the only two reserves that literally preserves the Anishinaabemowin language. I have a learning app. We have a learning app and stuff. I do have videos of that. This doesn't get talked about. The other thing that doesn't get talked about often, which a lot of people know about, is there's a lot of domestic abuse and violence. Is that the fact that this gangster rap, it's like, and because of people don't want to be taboo or racist, and it's not taboo or racist, it's addressing a problem, and there's a problem in Indigenous communities where the kids are, they're seeing YouTube, they're on TikTok, they're listening to, whatever, all the newest gangsta rap shit, you know what I mean? It's just, it's encouraging drug use, violence. You know what I mean? There's no sense of community. Like some of those songs, they talk about that, but it's mostly just shake your ass and do drugs and have a good time. And a lot of reserves this is just in Ontario, which is one of the capitals here. Ottawa's here. Everything happens in Ontario. Toronto, you know what I mean? Aside, there's Montreal and Alberta. Anyway, so in Ontario alone, there are regular shootings and killings and deaths and overdoses on reses, but they don't go reported. To the point that I'm an off-res resident. So I don't live on the res, obviously. There's about 5,000 residents that live. I think there's 5,000 residents in total in my res, Wickwamacong. 2,500 of which live on the actual res. 2,500 are off res. So, I don't go to the res too often for obvious reasons. There's not much to do there. They have a beautiful high school there, but there's not many resources, and that's a huge thing for reserves. There's no resources, no infrastructure. The Liberal government claimed that they solved 100 boiled water advisory problems. When I looked into it, they solved, I think, maybe 25 in terms of infrastructure, and the rest they just supplied bottled water to the communities. So you didn't really solve anything. You just gave them a temporary fix. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, yeah, it's crazy. It's insane. This holiday is bizarre. I gotta rush this so I can go to work. This is the second year in a row where we have the Truth and Reconciliation celebration. I'm a registered Native, and my work doesn't even take that into consideration. That their ESG, they're so concerned about their ESG score and celebrating Truth and Reconciliation, they don't have the time to go through their Aboriginally registered employees and say, do you want to take the day that we're considering a holiday to observe the Truth and Reconciliation Day? Or I don't get that option. They just put me on to work. So that's a perfect analogy for what society is doing right now. You got this administration, you got these people at the top saying, smiling at you and saying, "Oh, we have your best interest in mind. We're doing everything in your best interest, and this is going to help you." It's not. They're psychopaths. They're making major money. They're living very comfortable lives saying, "We're doing everything we can to help you. We're doing everything. Just give us your money, give us your trust, give us your time. Keep spinning your wheels. We're going to go on vacation and we'll all figure it out together." That's what these people are saying. Get them out. Get them out. None of this is working, okay? The reses are doing pretty bad. They're not doing any bad, but as far as I've seen, they haven't improved at all. And the cost of living is getting more expensive, so that's a burden on everybody. So it's trickle down pooponomics. So it's just ridiculous. I don't get it. I don't understand. Nothing's actually being done. The other thing is that everybody's arguing about the res schools, okay? Again, my grandmother went to a res school, St. Joseph's, okay? She luckily escaped, or not escaped, but she left because it was not conducive for her. But she also made a lot of bad decisions in life. She made some good decisions that led to me being born, but either way, she's very religious now. Like, she's very Christian. But the whole argument that, mass graves, blah, 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 okay, there was a bunch of res schools in Canada, okay? They're done by the Catholic Church. A lot of them, where stuff went down, okay, the Catholic Church, Rome, they do damage control, right? So, like, the schools where bad stuff happened, damage control's already been done. Or if you actually look into the legalities, there's actually certain areas where you're not legally allowed to go or dig and fart around with, right? Because it's a historical site. So it's like, you can still preserve history in stone. Make a monument, write it, put it in the archives, and then dig the friggin' thing up and see if there's anything there. Okay, there are tons, horror stories galore about res schools, okay? You're taking kids from parents, you're considering the parents and the kids savage, uneducated, like monster people essentially, and you're taking their kids to because your ideals are better than their and technically, like I said, sometimes it was a little bit better. You know what I mean? There's two sides of the story. If we would have stuck with the native side, there'd be a lot of war and murder and rape and death. It would be accepted, but then we'd have plenty of resources and nature would be beautiful and everything would be nice, and it wouldn't be this concrete jungle that we have full of chemicals and toxins. Elmira. So, but instead we have technology and modernity, which makes everything easier and gives us really the ability to do insane, feats that humans aren't capable of doing. And it's just, it's ebb and flow. It's a give and take. The whole world is a give and take. Everybody comes from a gnashing of teeth. So, everybody's come from the same strife and struggle and war and death and poverty and sometimes slavery and sometimes, everybody makes decisions. Life is, like I said, an ebb and flow. So we all got to work together. It took so long just to get the base education system, economic system. Like, it felt like it was going good from like the 90s to like 2013. For some reason, it felt good. Even though there's a lot of weird stuff going on, wars, conflicts, human trafficking constantly, drugs constantly. It's like, what if we just address the main issues? Human trafficking, drugs, famine, war. Those 4 guys. Human trafficking, drugs, famine, war. Get rid of them, see how society goes. But no, we're focused on all these other weird things. And yeah. So, anyway. All that to say, happy Truth and Reconciliation Day. I gotta go to work so I can make money. And, and I can't go to the bank and do a bunch of stuff that I have to do to try to get a housing for myself because of these holidays. So I'm very nervous about getting my housing stuff done, but I can't right now because of this holiday that's supposed to be celebrating me, and I gotta work. I mean, this is not, I'm in this mode constantly. What's my secret? I'm always complaining. I hate everything all the time. I don't want to no, I'm just kidding. I don't want May to come for me. So yeah, no, I'm very happy. I mean, I'm not happy with things the way things are. If you pay attention to things, yeah, there's no way you can be happy with it. But you can be. There's pockets. There's pockets of nice, family, people you can trust, having a nice meal, appreciating the small things you do have, and working towards a brighter future. There's a lot of good people out there. There's a lot of good things. I think there's more good than bad, even though things look kind of bleak. And I think we're all gonna make it. So I hope this brighten your day. I think I just want to try to share my inner dialogue, because paying attention to everything, it's very difficult. And in doing so, you kind of pick up on the fact that a lot of it's just bull. So I don't know. Sorry, I don't have any jump cuts or anything. I just raw dog it. Raw dog it. All right. Yeah, happy truth and reconciliation. I gotta go to work. Nice talking to you.